Our market monitor guest tonight is bullish on the stock market, but she still says it's due for a breather. She's Janelle Nelson, portfolio analyst at RBC Wealth Management. And welcome to Nightly Business Report, Janelle. Every investor loves new records. We love to hear about them, but is it getting to a point that this is going to be problematic for the markets and for investors?
Well, I think this is a market that has caught a lot of people by surprise. It's been pulling people in, kicking and screaming. We surpassed 1,700 yesterday. Valuation is fair, but frankly, it's a lot to go, 19% in just over half a year. Not a lot on the docket, we think, in August. We think it'll take a breather.
All right, let's move on, Janelle, if you're ready for some questions from viewers. W. Burrows wrote in about Facebook, and he says, quote, please give your opinion on whether or not to purchase the stock now. And as you know, Janelle, this stock has been up near where it debuted back a year ago.
Absolutely. I mean, someone is clicking on those Facebook ads, right? The quarter was clean. Active users increased 21%. Mobile revenues grew over the last 5 quarters from 0 to $2.6 billion. But the stock is pricey. At almost 50 times earnings, we think it'll take a breather. But like a lot of these upstarts, we think it's got room to go.
Here's a viewer question. David B. in Mexico, Missouri. He's interested in Cisco and wants to know your thoughts on Cisco for the long term.
Well, this is a company that has made $65 billion in acquisitions in the life history of the company. Some very good, some not quite so good. But bottom line, it's a cash machine. They will generate $11.2 billion in cash this year. Half of that will be returned to shareholders in the form of dividends as well as share repurchases. But bottom line, they've begun to dominate their sector again. It's trading in a range. It's now at the top end of that range. We'd buy it on a pullback.
All right, here's a tricky question, Janelle. Charlotte V. in Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan, owns Kraft Foods, and she says, quote, Kraft Foods recently spun off Mondelez, and I would like to sell the weaker part and invest in more of the stronger. But which is the stronger? Which is the weaker? Or is it too soon to know? What do you say?
Oh, wow, that's a tough question. If you had told me that Velveeta cheese, Kraft mac and cheese, Oscar Mayer wieners would be hitting the ball out of the park, I would not have believed you. But what the company has done a very good job of is prioritizing its brands and really simplifying its cost structure, and that has added to margins. It's also all U.S. business and Canada, a little bit of Canada business. So it's done better in an environment where a lot of the world hasn't done so well this year.
All right, let's make a switch from food to oil. David I. wants to know about TransCanada, the big pipeline company.
You know, it's one of our Canadian companies. We like the stock long term. They are they're the company that controls the Keystone XL pipeline, and there's still controversy if that will get approved or not. But what we believe is there's about a 70% chance of it getting approved, a 3.8% yield. They've grown the dividend every year for 12 years in a row, and they're converting a pipeline to move oil east instead of natural gas. We like the stock here, would be a buyer.
Our viewers have asked about some of their favorite stocks. Now you tell us about one of yours. It's Weyerhaeuser. You like the trees, do you?
I'm liking the trees. What I like about Weyerhaeuser, it's very simple. It's a real estate investment trust. It gives you a dividend of 2.8%. It increased 18% this year. We think that dividend will increase 14% next year. It trades 25% below its net asset value, and the housing recovery has legs. We think because of their exposure to lumber, oriented strand board, we think this stock is going to work, and I think it's well positioned in the current environment.
You've given us a lot to think about. Thank you so much, Janelle. Before you go,
Absolutely.
Any disclosures to make?
Yes, I do not personally hold any of the securities discussed. My company makes a market in all of the securities discussed. TransCanada, we have an investment banking relationship and own at least 1% of the outstanding, and an investment banking relationship with Kraft Foods.
All right, thanks for a very complete disclosure. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Janelle Nelson,
Great, you too.
portfolio analyst at RBC Wealth Management.